For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble and episode. I was just told like 5 minutes ago, I'm not sure why we don't have a bigger show planned today, but I was just told we're at episode 400 of this freaking show. So congratulations to me. That's how we do this. We don't have anybody calling in and wishing me, good luck, congratulations. It's me. It's me going 400 goddamn shows. Here we are. What do you have for that? No, there's a lot happening, so you've got 30 minutes of time wasting fun with me. Lots of conversation today. As always, I want you to chime in on what you hear. A lot of it, though, is for the past week and a half, I'm going to use the term I've been a single parent because the husband is out of the country visiting family in Brazil. And it's really kind of put a lot on my shoulders dealing with two dogs and managing the household. Now, we don't have like two-legged kids, all right? We don't have, we don't have to go to school and all this other stuff. But, our two dogs are a handful, and I own a company, and, we run a couple different projects, the two of us. So I'm short-handed, and it also comes in handy, too, because I've talked about him on the show many times, he's a big fitness bodybuilder, so, to have the big dog food and stuff like that, I need somebody to carry the things, or the new, water jug for the water cooler in my office at home. Yeah, that's right, I'm a pitiful little scrawny kid. So yes, I have single parent exhaustion. I know the real parents, the ones with two-legged children, are going to be rolling their eyes and emailing going, fuck off, what do you know? But no, there's lots to talk about in the celebrity world, in my world, and just what's happening in the world in general. So we're going to talk about all of it coming up on The Scribble right after this.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How do you like to learn the secret to losing 3 to 5 pounds a week without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt RX. For the last 2 decades, we've helped countless people lose thousands of pounds. And now, it's your turn. Learn how to lose weight with one simple phone call and no prescription needed. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a risk-free money-back guarantee. So, if you're ready to start losing weight, call right now and get a free month supply with your first order of Body Sculpt RX. Call now. You have nothing to lose but the pounds. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. That's 800-459-6838.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. Welcome to show number 400. I swear to you, if I would have known, I would have insisted that we do something a little bit, flashier for this, right? I mean, look, for the 15th anniversary, well, I guess that's a little bit different. I was going to say, for 15 years on the radio, we went to Nashville, and I hosted the show from there. 400 episodes of a podcast, I don't know. It's apples and oranges, yeah. But you know what? That's interesting, though, when we look back at things, like when I got into radio, it was when internet radio was just kind of starting. It was just kind of a thing. Satellite radio, I mean, it was around, but it was not popular. But, FM radio was still a really cool thing. Newspapers were still a cool thing. I'm still very old school. I've been writing for one of the newspapers in my home province for 19 years now. I've written 800 and something columns, and then hosting radio shows. So now when I think back to how things were when I started and to where they are today, present day, I mean, how often do you listen to the radio? Maybe when you're in the car, maybe. Otherwise it's, you have your iPhone or you plug your headphones into your computer and YouTube just randomly plays you whatever. So things have drastically changed. And again, when I got into radio, social media was not a thing. And, I guess, even, well, cell phones were a thing, but they weren't as connected, to everybody as they are now. So it's fascinating how things have changed just in terms of radio broadcasting. And now you've got things. I was laughing the other day because I've never been on TikTok, and I still don't really exactly know what it is. I think it's just a video app. So I've seen a couple people. TikTok is a perfect example of why not everybody should have a career in show business, and why everybody is not an actor, because there's some really, maybe they're bad acting to be funny, like on award shows, when they present, you have these like award-winning actors who are doing these stupid little presentations to, announce the nominees, and you look at that and go, is this meant to be like bad comedy? Because these are actually really good actors. So yeah, TikTok, I just find it's a bunch of fools on there anyway. So, okay. So I'm rambling because, like I said, I'm underslept, and I can't even say necessarily burning the candle at both ends, because quite honestly, truthfully, at 40 years old, we have a very easy schedule now that I think about it. I mean, we generally wake up at, 10 o'clock, 10:30, the days that we don't have to really work, which is like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sometimes. So here I am. I'm not going to win any fans on this one. Me complaining about my woe is me schedule when you've got people who are waking up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, commuting for 2 hours. Yeah, it's not quite like that. But I mean, like I said, at the very beginning, I mean, I'm joking about it, going, really, how hard is it to handle 2 dogs? Like, it's not. It's just a total difference. Now, of course, when my husband decided to flee the country and go back to his homeland of Brazil, he didn't know at the time, I was having in my family a funeral. We were having a funeral, and then a few days later was Canadian Thanksgiving. And so Thanksgiving is a holiday he doesn't really understand, right? Because it's a very North American sort of a thing. Or even just Northern Hemisphere in a way, because I believe some other countries do have it. And he's like, yeah, thanks. Which one is that? That's a turkey one? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, no big deal. So he's, away visiting family. So we've got a funeral on one side of the family, and then we've got Thanksgiving with another side of the family. Now, here's the deal. As much as you want to poo-poo this whole, like, Corona, the next wave, I'm putting in quotation marks, you can't see, but the next wave of Corona, I'm kind of wondering, because we had a lot of family members. For the funeral, like I said, was my dad's side of the family. We had a lot of family members out sick from the funeral. And so I was sort of like, okay, wow, that's a little bit crazy. And then my cousin and her husband, this is my dad's side of the family, my cousin and her husband were on a cruise. Now, again, the death and everything happened while they were away, so they couldn't, come to the funeral. So their excuse for not being there was legitimate. But wouldn't you know where I'm going with this, right? I'm talking about a cruise, and I'm talking about Corona. Where do you think I'm going with this, people? They come back. A day or two after they get back to Canada, they both test positive for Corona. So you've got that side of the family being wiped out with Corona. And then last weekend was Canadian Thanksgiving, and so my mom's side of the family, we get together. We do a big thing outside now at a park, picnic tables and everything. And the morning of, my cousin and her husband, who were organizing it, all of a sudden we get a group email from them going, there's too many people sick in our house, so we're not coming. Then one of my brothers chimes in and says the same thing. And then one of my cousins chimes in and says the same. So we're already down like 3 families just hours before we're supposed to do Thanksgiving. And I was just like, holy crap, maybe this is a good time. Maybe this is a good time for me to have lost. Husband has gone to another continent. I'm in the house by myself with the dogs. I can be in seclusion from everybody and just stay safe. So I don't know if we're coming into cold and flu season. We always know this is the time of year, right? When you're going to, if you work in a big office space, try this, by the way, because I used to do this when I worked in an office, because I've commented to people that I worked with. One time I would say, it's like a freaking hospital ward in here. But if you work in an office with, around 20, 30 other people, in one of those open concept places, I want you to count to 10. So the first time that you hear somebody cough or sneeze or whatever, see if you can count to 10 before the next person does it. Because I swear to you, I did a temporary contract dealio several years ago in a marketing department. I was writing some things for them, And I remember saying to a woman who I was seated beside, like, this, I just feel so dirty, and the people aren't even right beside me coughing. Like, it was just such a weird feeling. Now, thankfully, in our office at Speak Free Media, we all have offices. So it's sort of like, first of all, if you're sick, you're not even coming in, you're going to work from home. And secondly, like, I can close my door and just, seal off my place and not, have anybody bother me. And the good thing about doing a radio show and radio broadcast is I can be in a room, again, by myself. Nobody has to be near me. So I can really, we've got a very good office space set up. But yeah, if you've worked in an office for a long time, tell me how often you hear somebody coughing and sneezing. You might even be at work right now. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. Now, we're going to take a break, but everybody's complaining about the cost of everything, but it also kind of makes me wonder, is tipping getting out of control? Tipping, food service, delivery apps, whatever. Is it getting out of control? Well, I'm a best-selling cheapskate author. I've got my thoughts on the subject when we come back on the Scribble right after this.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer. Save the money, save the hassles, and get the better blue pill. Dial 800-578-0179. That's 800-578-0179. 800-578-0179.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt, your shoulder hurts, and your back. Oh my God, your back. They're constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore, am I right? Well, here is something you haven't tried. Pain Absolve. Pain Absolve is not available in any drugstore. The only way to get it is by calling today. We're so confident that it will work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase, no prescription needed, and best of all, each purchase comes with a money-back guarantee. Call now to find out how you can get Pain Absolve and get rid of your pain. Call 800-319-0582. That's 800-319-0582. 800-319-0582. Call today, 800-319-0582.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. All right, so the cost of everything is going up. You know that. You've gone to a store, you've bought something online, you see the price. I mean, it's on the news every freaking day, so you know that the cost of everything is going up. Now, I am a cheapskate, we know that. I am forever looking for stickers on things, right? 50% off, 30% off, reduced for quick sale, buy me now, take me home today. All these things, $4 off, $3 off, $2 off. Now, my husband, who's, again, out of town, thankfully, he's one of these people who will say, baby, he calls me, baby, he's Brazilian, baby, you have all the money in the world. Why do you care about $1? Because here's why, husband and ladies and gentlemen, is that it's the principle. It's the principle behind it. When I see these news stories of the big grocery chains or the big box retailers, whatever you want to call them, when I see that their profits are reaching record highs and it's in the billions and the executives are getting $8 million bonuses or they make $8 million, There's no reason that a package of bacon needs to cost me $7 or $8. There is no reason that some lettuce needs to cost me $6. There's no reason that a carton of milk should cost a family $2 or $3. That's what it is. Yes, I have all the money in the world. That's not an issue. Well, I'm not that rich, but I mean, we're very well off, and that's fine. I'm not bragging. That's not my point. My point here is you're not going to take advantage of consumers. And so it's gratifying to me when I go to the store and I see what do you call it? The mega or the value, family pack of chicken breasts, and it's like 8 or 9 chicken breasts. When I see that at regular price, and I've taken a picture, this is absolutely true. When I see the regular price is $50 for a package of 8 or 9 chicken breasts. Now, I used to go to Walmart and get a package of 5 of them for $10. Just, I would say even 5 years ago, that used to be the, so I would get 10 chicken breasts for $20 is what I would do at Walmart. I would buy 2 packages of them. Now, you're going to get 8 or 9 of them for $50. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. You're going to sell me that for $50. I'm better off. Now, I'm not saying that a fast food restaurant is healthier. I'm better off going to a fast food restaurant, ordering their chicken burger fucking sandwich meal and eating that than giving you $50 to gouge me on chicken. Mark up the garbage. Mark up the candy. But not the actual grocery, the healthy stuff that people need. Lettuce, like the vegetables, the produce, whatever you want to call it. Don't gouge, and I use the term rape and people get offended by that. Don't gouge us on that stuff. If it's the crap that we don't need, if it's the luxuries, if it's the junk food, if it's the whatever, fine. Charge us double on ice cream or whatever it might be, but not the healthy crap that we already know there's, people are eating, terribly nowadays anyway, but you're also forcing people to go to those types of foods because they're not going to pay it. Or they can't pay it. That's really the issue. And so for me, somebody like me who can afford all of this stuff, I'm just, as much as I love bacon, or as much as I love a salad dressing, that's kind of, salad dressing and cheese are kind of my go-tos, where I've said I'll pay whatever price if I really like it. I've now hit that limit of I'm not doing it. I'm not. I will wait for it to be on sale. I'll wait for that chicken to get a sticker on it that says 50% off because it's best before tomorrow. I'll stick it in the freezer. I'll do whatever. But I'll be and even let's be honest here. Even at 50% off the $50, so getting it for $25 is still not a very good deal. So I probably wouldn't do that. But it's gratifying to me. That was, I think, the word I used at the start of the segment. It is gratifying to me to see the stores mark down all of that stuff. And again, I have taken pictures of it. When you go to the meat department and you just see reduced stickers, good. Take the hint, though. People are sending you the message, we are not paying it. And I know, because there's been all these different polls you see on the news. Are you changing how you shop? Are you minding where your money goes? I am, but let me tell you why. It's because those greedy fuckers are taking advantage of us, and I will not do it. I can still eat healthy. I can still eat just fine, because I will look for those stickers. I will take the package of lettuce that's already chopped up or washed or whatever, or the actual one, and find the little piece of brown lettuce on it, and I will go and I will ask for a 50% off sticker. I'm ballsy like that. I'm going to do that. Why not? Why not? I totally will. I am not above doing something like that. So yes, I have a shit ton of money, but if it's gonna save me, $2, and I'm not gonna give the grocery store the benefit of, taking advantage of my money, then I will absolutely do that. So I want to hear from you on this, and again, I realize that a lot of people just can't afford. So I'm not rubbing the money into it. Like, I'm just saying it's the principle behind it. That's my point in this rant. So send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. Not necessarily are you making changes in the way that you shop for groceries, because I think sort of everybody kind of is anyway, whether it's a money issue or not, or is it behind the principle? So live@jbonair.com is the email address. Now let's shift gears then, because this whole tipping thing is getting a little bit out of control. Now, I've written about this for years because, I guess there's 2 sides of the argument, maybe 3. You've got the consumers who go and say, look you're being paid to do the job, whether it is bartender, hairdresser, taxi driver, food service worker, food delivery driver, whatever it is. You're being paid to do the job. If you don't like it and that is not okay for you, then get another job, get a second job, ask for a raise, do something, right? So there's that one side of it. I tend to kind of go along with that one. And then there's the side of it for the people who have that compassion and feel for those people and say, I'm going to tip for good service or whatever. I mean, that's where I question those people and say, but at the same time, that's also just keeping your job. I mean, if you're not good at your I don't know, that's like me writing a newspaper column or doing this show and saying, if you've liked what you heard, give me a tip of $2. Tip me if you like. No, I mean, I guess there are YouTube channels or whatever where people do that, where they'll ask for donations and, things. But because I'm already paid to do this, so for me, it's sort of like, all right, whatever. Now, the issue with tipping is the expectation that you as the consumer is going to do it. Now, I had never heard of Reddit until recently, so this is how old I am. And so there was apparently a discussion about people, if you don't tip on these apps, your food order just won't get picked up, because I didn't realize that drivers apparently see how much the tip is before accepting the delivery. And so there's this infamous picture, I believe it was McDonald's, where you just see all these orders lined up because those people, according to the Post, those people are non-tippers or low tippers. And so nobody will take that order because you didn't tip or whatever it might be. So then delivery drivers, well, again, these are allegedly delivered. It's hard to go and say these were, because it's the internet, right? It's online. You never really know who these people are, but they say they're delivery drivers. Some of these people were saying, oh, I wouldn't take it if it's less than a $10 tip, I'm not taking it. If it's less than, $5, if it's less than 20, they'll sit there with their calculator and figure it out. Now, here's the deal here. I'm sorry, if I'm paying a $10 tip on top of a $4 delivery fee, on top of a service fee, so that's, I guess, Uber Eats and a couple of the other ones that have a service fee, and tax on top of it, in addition to the food order, I did a screenshot of one of them. Not a $10 tip by all means, but certainly just the fees itself added about $12 to my little fast food order. So yes, people will say you're paying for the convenience of it. You're paying for it to be brought to you. You're paying for, well, okay, but how many parties are getting a cut of all of this? Like, it's sort of weird because you've got the restaurant, and then on Uber Eats, I think you can also give a donation to the restaurant. Give the restaurant $2. I'm sitting here going, when does this end? Am I paying everybody, like every single person in a transaction? I mean, I'm waiting to go to the grocery store and have a tip jar there, and now that's going to be shared with the stock boy and the floor sweeper and the whatever. Like, it's so crazy, the expectation of the tip. Right? Now, here's the deal, is that there's the predetermined amounts. So you could go and say 10%, 15%, 18%, 25%, even 50% tip some options. Now, this could be, if it's on an app, it's on your phone, but even in some stores, people are saying that at restaurants now, the predetermined amount is 15, it starts at 15%, and then 18, and then 25%. This is where I was reading a news story where there was, I think it was literally 2,000 comments from readers basically going and saying, if I see that, if the first option is 15 or 18 and these predetermined amounts are on there, I hit 0 tip. That is how I say to the restaurant, excuse me, not happening. Because, and I also didn't think about this, people are saying, you're adding 15 or 18 whatever percent onto your taxed bill already. So your full amount, it's showing you, let's say, after taxes, after everything, is $35. You're adding 15 or 18%. Depending on where you live, 15% might already be your sales tax. So you could essentially be adding how much more to your bill when you're sitting there going, this person just brought me a drink and my plate of food, and I'm now tipping, $5, $6, $7, $8. I mean, that's where there's that tipping point, haha. But that's the tipping point for a lot of consumers now. I will eat out at the restaurant, that is fine, but let's be reasonable here. And I've done this with actually a couple of my coworkers. Suzanne isn't here today, but I remember we were at a patio, and I had it was like a barbecue chicken burger, and it was just, the barbecue sauce was everywhere. Like, it was just dripping out of this burger. It was all over my hands. And the server even noticed that, like, I'd basically torn up the napkins because it was just, I was using them that much. Can I get some wet naps? Can I get some, towelettes, moist towelettes, just a couple more napkins? It took her forever to bring me that. And then when I wanted another drink, again, it took forever. So it's that awkward feeling of she's going to hand me the machine for me to put in my, information, and they're going to make that chit-chat with you when you're paying. But let me tell you, when we were there for that hour and a half, that was probably the most that she talked with us, was because she had to do the whole, settling up thing with the bill. So, of course, she's going to make nice and friendly chatter. Oh, so what's planned for the rest of the night? Oh, beautiful night tonight, because we were on a patio. And it's like, wow, girl, now when it comes time for the tip, that's when you're going to talk and care about what the hell we're doing and what's going on here. You didn't, when I was struggling to, like, wipe my hands or need another refill of my water, you were nowhere to be found. And again, I realized you might have other tables and what's going on, but now you're attentive when it's tip time is what it is, right? And so that's where there's that intimidation of people who will go and say, well, because she's standing there, she's going to see how much I put in right in the amount, so I'm going to tip because it's awkward. And you can also tell sometimes, right, when they tear it and they just sort of put the curled receipt on the table and walk away if you didn't really give a good tip. But at the same time, there's that expectation that you're a server, you're going to get tipped. Sorry, chickie lady, that is not going to happen with us, especially nowadays. And so, yes, I realize I appreciate the cost of everything is going up. The cost of everything in my house is going up as well. The heating, the water, whatever. It's all going up for me too. So, and I'm going to go back to what I said kind of at the start of this topic is, if it's not financially feasible for you, get another job, or get a second job, or get a side gig, which is what plenty of people are doing. Because let me tell you, we also, in my household, outside of our company, we have other sources of income. Not that we need them, but we just do because we're creative people and we like doing things like that. So, yes, I've got syndicated radio money, newspaper column money, podcast money, best-selling book money. We've also got our men's and swimwear and underwear line money. We've got a coffee company line money. So, and my husband's income as a fitness model. So, it's kind of like if we needed to get more work or better paying or whatever it was, we would do it because we have to. And so I'm wondering now, or we got to go to a break and I'm seeing that we're having audio trouble. Is that why you're wrapping me up? Because we've got microphone issues? Sure, I'll okay. They're talking to me. Let me wrap up on tipping? Sure. Okay. All right. See, we do the show almost like a radio broadcast, where people would do podcasts, they would edit the shit out of them and take that. We do it straight through for 30 minutes, and that's just the way I've been trained as a radio broadcaster. So they're talking to me in my ear as I'm hosting the show. I'm going to wrap up on this whole tipping thing, and we'll continue in a moment. But yeah, I mean, I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. Send me an email. Again, the address is live@jbonair.com. Live@jbonair.com. Is tipping just getting out of control? Now, if you're a food service worker, I understand. But it's funny too, because the comments on the news article that I was reading is you have these servers, and then you've got the people who are going and saying, excuse me, you're remembering what people have ordered and you're carrying plates to a table. This is not like rocket science. So there's people who are kind of coming at the actual servers and saying, you complain about the job being tough, but really you're walking, you're going from table to table and you're bringing glasses of Pepsi and you're taking away dirty plates and you're offering, a cheesecake and so there's just a whole bunch of different sides to the battle. Like I said, there's at least 3 sides to it. But send me an email, live@jbonair.com. Back on the Scribble right after this.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous. When they take themselves way too seriously, it's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley back on the Scribble. Out of time, though. That's why I was getting the big heave-ho, because they're like, you've got less than 2 minutes. Wrap this crap up. Feel free to give me a shout, though. Live at jbonair.com is the email address, live at jbonair.com. This is the Scribble, episode 400. My name is JB. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a Speak Free media presentation.
If you want some